A very good morning to all our viewers. I'm Chitali Mathur. Let's begin with the headlines. It's just 99 days until diplomats from some 190 countries meet in Copenhagen to try and save the world from climate change. In our countdown to Copenhagen, Per Fritter spoke with Muthukumara, a senior environmental economist at the World Bank, to find out how climate change could affect India's development.
Mr. Mani, if you can start by telling us how climate change impacts the poor, particularly in developing countries such as India and in the South Asian region.
When you say climate change, we're talking about change in temperatures, change in precipitations, change in water runoffs from rivers, glacier melt. We are talking about change in cropping patterns. We are talking about change in monsoon patterns and so on and so forth. And of course, you have the temperature change. So all this together is going to impact agriculture, because that's the most vulnerable to climate change. And the poor, they are dependent on climate change, or rather they are dependent on agriculture for their livelihood and water resources. So they are going to be majorly impacted. And similarly, for example, if you take things like sea level rise, that's going to impact the coastal communities. Again, the poor are the ones that are going to be most impacted, because they're the ones who live in these vulnerable coastal areas. And in terms of natural disasters, again, the climate change may bring about a greater increase in frequency and intensity of natural disasters. Again, that's something is going to impact the poor the most, because they're the ones who are vulnerable to natural disasters.
When you look at solutions to these kind of problems, particularly in developing countries such as India, what kind of solutions can we put in place to fight the development challenges of climate change?
A regional conference on climate change is going to happen in Kathmandu on the 31st and 1st. And the idea is that the countries of the regions are coming together for the first time, the South Asian countries, to discuss climate change. That's, I think, is a major thing that's happening before Copenhagen. More, what do we do better in terms of maybe it could be planting climate resilient crops, it could be expanding irrigation, it could be a lot of things. It could be, for example, expanding the healthcare services. So a whole lot of things that one could do, but I think it makes a lot more sense, because as a climate is a big regional issue. I think it will be great if countries can come up with some common solutions.
The World Bank has worked extensively in India to fund projects. If you can tell us a little bit about the most successful ones that you funded and hosted in India.
What at the World Bank we are trying to do is to mainstream climate change in whatever we do. So we are looking at whatever we are doing from a climate lens, be it building a bridge, be it a hydropower plant, be it irrigation project, and so on and so forth. There are a number of projects, for example, in irrigation and in agriculture, in energy. For example, the bank is majorly involved in energy efficiency. That's again, very climate friendly activity. So we are engaged in a number of activities, and overall program is moving towards more and more integration of climate in whatever projects, programs we do. And we are working closely with the government at the center, the state governments, in helping them kind of mainstream climate in whatever they do as well.
It's time for a short break now, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more news and updates.
Samoan Bulldog.